Welcome to an overview of how globalization reshapes national economies, connecting trade and capital flows, regulatory frameworks, and patterns of convergence and divergence. In this lecture, we'll track how cross-border investment and policy choices interact, creating opportunities for growth while also producing uneven outcomes, so we can understand both the promise and the trade-offs countries face in an integrated global system. This slide highlights the forces collapsing distance and time: containerized shipping, exponential ICT advances, multilateral trade agreements, and financial market liberalization. Together, they enable a 24/7 circulation of ideas, capital, and goods and build global value chains, but they also raise the risk of marginalization for countries that fail to integrate strategically into these networks. Here we look at three case studies: China, Vietnam, and Bangladesh, where low-cost labor, aggressive FDI incentives, and logistics hubs catalyzed rapid industrial integration. Each country moved from basic commodities toward higher-value sectors like electronics and apparel, quadrupling GDP in some instances and lifting hundreds of millions out of poverty over 2 decades. Services are a new front in globalization, enabled by fiber optic networks, time zone arbitrage, and English proficiency that let back-office IT and creative services scale globally. This transformation fuels urban middle-class growth, increases tax revenue, and generates soft power through global delivery centers and strategic hubs like Bangalore, shifting value away from traditional manufacturing locations. Manufacturing decline and offshoring have left clear regional scars in the US, UK, and Italy, as firms chase cheaper labor abroad. The slide shows how job losses hollow out tax bases, aggravate opioid crises, and feed political volatility, because comparative advantage can shift faster than labor market adjustment, producing painful local dislocations. Globalization narrows inequality between countries even as it widens domestic gaps. Rapid growth in parts of Asia has closed the global divide, but within many nations, Gini coefficients have risen. The winners tend to be university graduates and asset holders, while mid-skill workers face stagnant wages, creating a populist backlash that challenges open market policies. Successful economic upgrading mixes openness with strategic state intervention. Korea's R&D tax credits, Germany's vocational training, and Singapore's cluster planning each build domestic ecosystems for high-value capture. Targeted subsidies, public venture funds, and STEM education help countries climb value chains and secure stages of production before competitors lock them out. Denmark's flexicurity model converts trade shocks into transitions by combining portable benefits, lifelong learning accounts, and rapid job matching platforms with wage insurance and relocation vouchers. The result is smoother worker mobility, fewer layoffs, and political consent for globalization, showing how policy design can protect citizens while preserving openness. Comparative advantage is being remapped by policy and technology. Carbon border adjustments change, trade incentives, renewable energy supply chains create new resource-based opportunities, and digital services via cloud platforms shrink geography. These shifts mean nations can leapfrog traditional industrial stages or lose out, depending on policy choices and resource endowments. Supply chain resilience now emphasizes diversification and nearshoring as firms respond to pandemic shocks and geopolitical tension. Moving from single-source dependency to nearshoring or multi-sourcing reduces lead times and risk at the cost of higher labor inputs, reflecting a strategic pivot from pure wage arbitrage towards stability, security, and political reliability. Globalization's growth potential depends on 3 structural pillars: institutional quality, human capital depth, and social insurance, which together channel technology and investment into domestic prosperity. Global wins can lift nations, but converting external opportunities into sustained domestic growth hinges on smart policy choices. Failure to adapt creates political storms and instability. To future-proof national economies, governments should diversify exports, embed skills funding in trade deals, pair FDI with local content rules, and raise environmental standards, all while practicing continuous scenario planning. Building coalitions Anticipating shocks and adapting strategies helps maintain public support for open policies and secures sustainable, inclusive growth over the long term.